안녕하세요. LJ 코인 뉴스의 LJ입니다. 오늘도 코인 자산의 상승의 확신을 다시 한번 상기시키고자 영상 들고 왔습니다. 나스닥 상장사 코인베이스 CEO 브라이언 암스트롱이 야후 파이낸스에서 했던 인터뷰 내용이 아주 흥미롭습니다. 함께 보시죠.
There was something you said on stage that caught my attention. You said that Bitcoin could become the world's reserve currency because of the US debt situation, which is ballooning. How realistic is that?
Well, it really is unclear at this point, but one thing that is clear is that democracies around the world are having trouble getting deficit spending under control. And that can only, if you study history, right, the changing world order, different empires, like who had the reserve currency at different moments in time, once you decouple currency from hard commodities, the inevitable story is they get overprinted and extend, right? And so I think right now, to be clear, I want the US to remain the reserve currency status. I think a strong America is very important for the world. And I think cryptocurrency is helping the dollar enormously with things like USDC and stablecoins. But if the debt situation doesn't get fixed, I do think that eventually Bitcoin will have to become the reserve currency for better or worse. It's not going to be the Chinese RMB because I think they have their own debt problems. And it's not a coincidence that as we're seeing all-time highs in US debt, we're seeing all-time highs in Bitcoin.
You had a great chart in there too in your presentation. But what's the tipping point for that to happen? When debt hits a certain level, suddenly we have to worry about the world reserves currency being the US dollar?
Yeah, I mean, there's not usually, it's like one of these things like the frog is slowly cooked. And, I think if you look at other countries in the past, it was maybe around 150% or 200% debt to GDP. Things started to get a little wonky. And so we're going to have to see what happens. I hope that the Congress, which is doing an amazing job, by the way, and on passing legislation in a bipartisan way for crypto. And this administration, the Trump administration, has been an incredible tailwind for crypto. They've done an incredible job. So, I think there's a lot to be grateful for, but I hope that, the U.S. government can get the spending under control to preserve this American experiment.
Do you want to take the fight to credit card issuers?
But I do think over time, crypto is going to cause the people to question the margins, right? And there's a whole ecosystem that's built there with lots of middlemen and lots of fees. If that can be done cheaper for the average customer and the average merchant, I think that the credit cards are looking closely about what is their stablecoin strategy. And I think the smart ones, the big ones, will be participants in that, not left behind.
챕터 4는 제 개인 관심사가 들어간 부분의 인터뷰인데요. USDC 하면 떠오르는 코인베이스와 서클에 관련한 이야기입니다. 공유하고자 생략하지 않고 넣었습니다.
Right now, they're the issuer of USDC. We're a distribution partner, but our economic arrangement with them is substantial. I think that the market may not be fully valuing that in Coinbase's stock at the moment. But yeah, I think the big picture, it'll all work out, and we're excited about our partnership with them for the long term. Both Circle and Coinbase, we're going to be trying to get more USDC adoption. And right now, every bank and fintech company and Fortune 500 is like a new announcement every day. Someone's thinking like, how do we add these to make our business more efficient?
Would you ever want to put an offer in to buy Circle? I mean, already it's so intertwined.
We would always consider it, but obviously it takes two people to have something like that happen. And they're crushing it in the public markets, right? So it was something we'd always consider if they were interested. But I think for now it's going really well.
Bullish investors in crypto need to remember there will be regulation, and there are no free rides. What would you tell to bullish investors on that front?
Well, I think regulation will be a huge boon for crypto. So I very much, we are actively working all over DC, our policy team, and with this administration to try to get legislation passed. We think that that's how we expand the TAM of crypto. And frankly, that's why a lot of people are now coming into crypto, because they're seeing that regulatory clarity is on the horizon. So my biggest thing at this point is we need to stick the landing.
여기에서 말하는 코인 시장은 여러 자발트, 밈코인이기보다는 스테이블코인 및 시가총액 상위에 드는 코인을 의미하는 것으로 생각하시는 게 좋습니다. 오늘 영상 코인 투자에 도움이 되셨다면 구독, 좋아요 해주시고 다음에 또 만나요.